Hi, everybody. This is Lorraine and Cheryl here, and we're doing our pelvic restoration and disease prevention. And today we'll be talking about ovarian cysts. So we are delighted that you guys could join us. We figure that this is one of the most important topics for all women out there. And we offer this educational 1-hour show every single Monday at 2 p.m. Well, that's in Pacific time, and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that we can get every woman educated about how you can take care of yourself, and we can re-educate you about the things that you have already learned that aren't true and other things that you haven't even learned yet on how to take care of yourself and to get your pelvis back into the best shape and the healthiest tissues it can be. So Lorraine has this wonderful slideshow she's going to put up for us in just a minute. And what else can we say to that? I know that for myself, I have known a lot of women who have told me that they have had ovarian cysts. I'm not sure that I ever experienced an ovarian cyst, but that's not because it's not possible. It's because I didn't know at the time that might be what I was experiencing. And so there can be a lot of pain when an ovarian cyst starts to swell, because an ovarian cyst is just a pus-filled sac that is found inside the ovary. And what happens is, just like if you can imagine a pimple on your face, and when that pressure builds up, how painful that is, and you want to squeeze it or to somehow relieve that pressure, but of course you can't do that with an ovarian cyst. And almost 99% of the time it will burst, and then the pain goes away. They are rarely, if ever, can progress into anything that we consider to be 4-stage inflammation and the rest of the world calls cancer. And so Lorraine's having a little bit of technical difficulties. What you see up there is our wonderful pelvic restoration for men and women in large print. To the left of Cheryl Serta is Lorraine Clifford, and my clinic is in Northern California in Occidental, and I love taking care of women who like to come in and get this wonderful pelvic restoration, Wolf non-surgical. It is fabulous process. You can also get Cell Sonic, and the Cell Sonic is just magical when it comes to taking care of any kind of pelvic issues that you have. Lorraine herself has a clinic up in Calgary, Canada. So we're representing Cheryl. The West Coast.
Cheryl, you know what? Zoom has done something different, and the program is different just slightly, and I've got to click more. So I think today it's going to be you and I talking about the ovarian cysts. We can go through the information, but the slides are not going to come up because I'm just not quick enough with the way that I need to learn how to do it.
No problem.
Okay.
Because we're so good at talking about the things that are important to women. So when it comes to ovarian cysts, for all the women who are out there, it says that it only really affects 20% of women, but I'm here to tell you that I would say another 30% have probably had one without even knowing that they did. Because we get a lot of issues down there, which actually is not necessary, and most women don't know that, but we think having menstrual cramps is normal. We think that anytime something happens down there, it's just another one of those woman issues, and we just plow through it, suffer, move along, do all the little things that we can think of, swallow ibuprofen or whatever it is that we do to get through that initial acute pain, and then the cyst is gone. So I'm going to say it's probably affected more like 50% of women on the planet. Just like when we talk about men and prostates, the numbers that they have are only if women actually go in and get seen. So that's part of the thing for me. Yeah. And they say that there's medically over 30 different kinds of ovarian cysts, which just kind of blows my mind because I can't even imagine that there could be that many different kinds of cysts.
I can remember probably when it was after my son was born, so I was probably early 30s. And I remember getting rushed to the hospital because of the lower abdominal pain I was having. And they kept me overnight. They did give me some morphine or something, I don't know what. So I did sleep. And when I woke up and I was no longer medicated, the pain had gone away. And they told me that I likely had a cyst that burst.
Well, there you go. But it is intense. I imagine it's no different than a kidney stone or any of the other things that take your breath away when it gets to that point where it's really ready to pop.
Exactly.
And it's inside the tiny little ovary, so that's going to press up against, and it's like you just don't know. And as a woman, when you have that kind of pain, you freak out a little bit. It's like, I hope nothing's wrong with me. So as we were talking about, they can be about the size of a cherry. And like we were saying, most go away on their own. Maybe not all cysts have to get so big before they burst. I'm assuming that because of our American diet and the amount of inflammation we have in our intestines, and the fact that the fungus is drilling little holes and letting all that waste seep into the pelvic bowl, our ovaries and our uterus are sitting in a manure pile, which of course is going to generate these ovarian cysts, which is literally a pus-filled little sac, which of course is because it's sitting in a contaminated space and the body's doing what it can to get rid of it.
Exactly. So definitely, like what Cheryl said, they can be mild and go away on their own, and some of them can be even non-painful. So half the people may not even realize that that's what's happening. Most of us will probably understand about leaky gut, because that's out there, right? Everybody is talking about leaky gut. But what they're not saying is that it's not really the gut. When I think gut, I'm thinking stomach. I might even think small intestine, the SIBO, right? Mm-hmm. The leaky small intestine. But nobody is talking about that large intestine. And that is where the problem is. When we're not food combining well, when we're not chewing well, when we're eating in a hurry, or maybe we're angry or upset, or not food combining right, that makes whatever that meal was putrefy in the stomach. And when it putrefies, you're feeding the bad bacteria, the fungus, and the parasites. And those fungus are the worst predators. They are the ones that drill holes into the large intestine. And then anything transitioning through that large intestine has the opportunity to drop into the pelvic bowl. And you create a manure pile. And that manure pile, just think about it. If you were living in and around a manure pile, because our ovaries they would be in it. They would be living in it. That's how far down that they are. So if I'm living in a manure pile, my outer tissue is going to get irritated, and then it's going to get inflamed. So it's gonna thicken, just like if I got hit by a baseball and that there was a swelling there. There's going to be a swelling. That's inflammation. And then the next thing is infection, and that's where the cysts come in. Your body says, oh my gosh, we've got infection. We want to be able to hone it off, put it in something, and put it away, right? Mm-hmm. That's what's happening here. And then it could be even worse than that. I mean, the medical systems say that sometimes these can be more than just a sack of pus.
Yeah. And they're saying that part of the risk factors that they come up with is infertility treatments. So you can imagine the kind of, hormones that they're giving you in order to try to help you to ovulate or do any of those things. And the use of tamoxifen, which I wish I could say right off the top of my head what tamoxifen is used for, but it sounds like an antibiotic, but it could be for something else. Pregnancy in a second trimester, because our FCC levels peak. Again, we're talking about hormones. They're not actually attributing it to pooping in your pelvis. They're trying to find hormonal reasons for all of these. They're saying hypothyroidism it can be the cause of these ovarian cysts. And what they call maternal, wow, gonadotropins or fetal ovarian cysts at birth. Now, what are the chances of having fetal ovarian cysts at birth if your mother wasn't, if the womb wasn't sitting in a manure pile in order to infect the baby? I can't imagine that there would be any other reason except the baby's also having to deal with infections coming through. Just like cigarette smoking. I mean, they've been knowing for a long time how hard that is for the baby and the womb and the amount of oxygen in the blood that gets to the baby if a woman is smoking during pregnancy, and tubal ligation, which I imagine would be a fallopian tube a cyst. Instead of being ovarian, it would be a fallopian tube cyst.
Exactly. And the treatments. So the treatments would be, if it's mild, there may be no treatment, right? Because right. that could just go away on its own or burst, and you may not know it. Maybe it's just a small one. I don't know. Painkillers. So a lot of women would be grabbing some ibuprofen or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. And quite often they'll even put you on birth control to try and get rid of these ovarian cysts. I don't get the connection there, but
well, since they're blaming everything on hormonal imbalances, well, then the treatment's going to be to hormonally try to balance you, which of course isn't going to work.
I guess I'd say that what probably happens is, in these cases, people may have success in lowering the pain, but I would bet that those little cysts just burst and go away.
Yeah.
And they would naturally, even without this. And if they get bigger, then usually they'll do like laparoscopy, which is they do an exploratory inside to see what's going on, to make sure that the fallopian tubes are not stagnated and have something in them, or that everything is flowing the way it should be.
And of course, doing that often makes more cysts develop, because now you've entered something foreign into this sacred environment. And then if they decide to remove it or cut it, or they use the laser, I mean, there's still now damage to the surrounding tissues, which then the body tries to help, and then it creates another cyst. So,
exactly. And I know when I was young, I had that done to check the fallopian tubes, because I was having a lot of pain.
Yeah, and then can you imagine, you get in there and they say, oh, well, we need to take both your ovaries. And if they take both their ovaries, that puts them into immediate menopause. And these are, they're not really taking into account what the long-term ramifications of these quick decisions, or these decisions that are made, when it can so easily be treated with diet and, other things that we can do for them. Anyway, we're going to talk about that when we go farther on.
When I was 18, I had ovarian tumors removed, and they took one ovary completely and left a trace of the other one. They told me I would never have kids, and they said they just left a trace so that I would still have sex drive. So they were, considering that. But how many years later? How old was I? I'm going to say 8 years later, I got pregnant. And then 4 years later, I had another child. So you know what? They don't know what they're talking about, right?
Exactly.
They cannot tell you how determined, or what somebody's likelihood of anything is. They can tell you statistics. That's all. And I don't know about you, but I'm no statistic. I'm none of that.
I'm not either. And of course, until I started really following Dr. Wolf and really doing my own research into how to take back my health, I'm telling people, let yourself off the hook. What you don't know what you don't know. And that's why Lorraine and I and so many others in the Braveheart Nation are so passionate about bringing this information to everybody. And, Daryl wrote this amazing the ultimate healing guide for the perfect day, which is absolutely free to everybody. So, I mean, I know that I love having the book, so I went ahead and ordered the hard copy, but you can go to pdgfree.com and download a free perfect day lifestyle guide, which has everything in it and all the information that you need to take back your health. And you have to start with rebuilding your large intestine. We have to clean up the manure pile. You've got to get all that inflammation and infection and fungus and all that stuff out of there. And so when you get his perfect day guide, what are some of the things they can do, Lorraine?
Well, you know what I would do is I would get myself on the daily cleansing tea. That goes in and it cleanses and nourishes all of your inner organs. So you can only imagine if, I mean, this is an abdominal cavity, so whatever's happening on the bottom, that manure pile, if you were on a farm and you put a pitchfork in a manure pile and you turned it over, you're going to see steam rises, right? Well, if you're in a warm, wet situation and there's a manure pile there, do you think steam's going to be rising? I think so. So all of my inner organs could have problems. So I want to make sure that I am dealing and strengthening and nourishing all of my inner organs. And that is what the daily cleansing tea does. And because it's doing that, it helps the large intestine do its job better. So we want to get the large intestine moving. The other thing would be the black gold. Now, the black gold is a humic powder. It only works in the digestive tract. It takes 2 days to transition out. But while it's in there, women, listen to this. It shouldn't be a secret. It's going to balance your hormones. So if you have a hormone problem, get on the black gold. It's going to get rid of viruses, bad bacteria, fungus, and parasites. It's going to grab onto 6 times its weight in heavy metals, encapsulate it, and escort it out the body. It's going to deliver good nutrition to the good microbiome. So anybody on prebiotics, probiotics, you can put those aside, take your black gold, you're nourishing the good bacteria. When the good bacteria comes up, the bad bacteria goes down. Everything's symbiotic, right? Yeah. And the biggest thing it does is it patches, it restores, helps restore that gut lining. So patching up those little holes. So you need to be on that because that large intestine is the problem. The next thing would be the black diamond. Now, the black diamond is humic and fulvic, and it does exactly what the black gold does, only in the bloodstream, and it's small enough to cross over the blood-brain barrier. So it does all that in the brain too. So those are our three flagship products, I'm going to say, because absolutely everybody needs to be on this. There's not a soul out there who could not use this stuff.
I agree. And of course, if you're going to be taking these, and of course, it's doing its job to get it out of your system, then you want to be doing the ultimate coffee enema, because you want to support your body to be able to release as much as possible while you're experiencing the least amount of what I call detox, kind of experience. So, you have your bloating and your gas and everything's going on and it's working to get it out of there. Well, you want to do the ultimate coffee enema, where you have the organic green coffee. You're using the black gold again, because we're working at it from both angles. And remember that the membranes in the anal area and around those tissues what is it, 300 times more absorptive, right?
Yeah,
And we
it's not.
already know that the black gold is so good at rebuilding your gut health. So it's also seeping in through both directions because it's coming in, it's busy chowing away through all the stuff it's reaching as it gets to through your stomach and starts working its way. So why not have it coming through the back door? They can meet in the middle and, wave the flag of victory. So
Well, it's actually getting to where the problem is,
yes.
right?
And then you're going to be, after you cook it all up, and then you're going to add some of that tummy love, which is also going to assist in helping to build back up an amazing gut so that you have more and more good bacteria which are being created so that the inflammation can go away. And it's not just about, realizing that you're reducing this. We're talking about you taking your health back, feeling better, not having pain, watching how your joints feel, because when you have inflammation in your pelvic area, it's going to be affecting your lower back, the sacral area, your hips, and people will constantly complain about the pain they're having. Well, hello, have you seen where the pelvis is and your back and the whole cradle there? All of those are still sitting in that manure pile. So as you are relieving that inflammation and getting healthy, you're going to get so much other relief. I mean, it's like a magic bullet.
Yeah, and just know that when you can hold that coffee, even 3 minutes, there is the hepatic portal in the rectum, which is only about 2 inches up from the end of the rectum. And once that coffee hits there, it has immediate entrance into the liver. And when it gets to the liver, it puts the liver on hyperdrive. So the liver actually has something that's going to help it do an amazing job at cleansing the blood as it goes through the liver. And every 3 minutes that you can hold that, you've allowed your entire blood system to go through the liver when it is performing on hyperdrive. Coffee enemas was the first thing that was done to people when they entered into the hospital, and they stopped doing it. I wonder why. Because half the people, or maybe even more than half the people, were leaving the hospital feeling better.
And, one of the big issues that I hear from almost every client that comes to me is they went to the doctor to get blood work and found out they have a fatty liver, because the liver can't possibly be able to do the job of the American diet that we're giving it. And so when you're doing these coffee enemas and you're stimulating the liver, it's going to do a better job at doing its job, which is processing that fat that comes through the liver, and the amazing job it can do, because the liver is amazing. It actually regenerates. It's one of the few organs in our bodies that can regenerate. So,
yeah,
amazing.
When you've got toxins in the body will always create another fat cell to tuck the toxins in. So a fatty liver sounds like there's an abundance of toxins.
Yes, it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
And besides the free Perfect Day Health Guide, you can go to the docofdetox.library.com and you can start reading and educating yourself. The highway to health, instead of the highway to hell we've been creating in our intestines.
Exactly.
And then you have, the Holy Grail, right? And it's like, holy crap. That's exactly what it is. And of course, every woman out there, you need to go read I Am Woman and really take back and become your personal advocate for your health. You become the doctor. You learn to educate yourself so that you know how you can take care of yourself and get yourself a perfect day consultation. Both Lorraine and I and many of the other master practitioners do the perfect day consultations. You have somebody that's going to support you, that's going to encourage you to start taking your own action, do some educating it for yourself, and we're here to support you and to help you understand what you're reading, understand what the things that you need to do, guide you along the path for the nutraceuticals, the infusions, or anything that you need.
And one other thing you can be doing for ovarian cysts is the vaginal infusion.
Yes.
You can find information on that in your Perfect Day download, so that PDG free, or you can go to the library and look at internal, external therapies. It's also mapped out how to do it and what you need to put in it in the advanced water fast also. So, there is so much that you can do, like Cheryl said, to empower yourself and become the master of your health. You know you best. A doctor knows statistics. They don't know they don't know the spirit of you.
That's right.
Or determination. They can't factor that in because it's an iffy subject, right?
Oh, and one of the amazing classes that we offer at the Braveheart Nation is the Pelvic Restoration and Dis-Ease Prevention Masterclass that Lorraine and I are teaching. I feel so honored to be helping Lorraine with these classes. She's such a master at it. And it's even though I know that you can read and you can take this information in, when you're in a classroom full of other women, and the amazing power and healing energy that happens when women come together to support each other, there are no words for the magic that happens in these courses. And how much we teach you, not just about what's going on down there, because most women couldn't even tell you the muscles they have in the pelvic region, let alone how it works. So we're going to teach you how to learn about yourself. We're going to teach you how to tighten those muscles, how to eliminate and help with bladder incontinence, how to stop having painful intercourse, how to take back not having painful periods. I mean, it's just the most magical course. And I know that the next one coming up is going to be in Ixtapa. And I believe it's the first 3 days of November.
Yeah.
Yep, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We want you to come down. It's only a 3-day course. The Braveheart Nation has dropped their prices 30% across the board. I know it's now only $11.90, and it's absolutely amazing for that price to get 3 days of something that you're going to use for the rest of your life. You're going to get a manual you can take home that will help you to remember all the things you learn in class. And anyway, it's absolutely magical. Every woman needs to sign up. The classes can only have so many people in them because they're intimate and they're special. So they fill up fast. You need to sign up so that you can be part of the process. And there's another one in Ixtapa in January. And I am not sure about that date.
But you can go to bhnuniversity.com or braveheartnation.com, click on courses, and you'll get the dates, the times, and the prices of them all. Yes. And I also wanted to mention that Dr. Sage is going to be in Toronto in, I think it's July 24th to August 5th or something like that. But again, you can get that information at bhnuniversity.com, and you just need to give him a call or give the office a call and find out if there's any availability. I know I heard from him this morning that he still had some availability. So you can call that 855 number. So 1-855-900-4544, extension 0 or 2, and just ask about Sage going to Toronto, and they'll give you the information there. We also have the 5-star Healing and Training Center, here Healing and Training Retreat in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico. And that is for maybe it's couples that want to come together and they want to learn how to take care of each other. Or maybe you want to personalize your whole life coach or non-surgical. So you just want to come, you're all by yourself, or maybe it's the two of you, or maybe it's a family. You want to take the courses in a more private environment. You could do that down there. You could take either the non-surgical or the whole life coach. Maybe you're an athlete and you've got your whole team or a few of your teammates that want to learn about this and help each other as far as injuries from the sports that you're doing. Maybe you're a couple and you want to have a pain-free pregnancy. That's another thing that you can do down there, is learn what you need to learn to take care of your bodies and nourish your bodies so that you can have that pain-free pregnancy.
And if you want, you can just go down and have one of the best vacations you've ever given yourself. Go and have a advanced water fast or a juice fast or just a healing and relaxation getaway. I know that Daryl has done a video where he walks through the beautiful healing retreat center.
He just did that last night.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got a salt pool. I mean, when you're going to take yourself on vacation, why not go someplace and also heal your spirit and heal your soul? So I think it would be, I can't wait to go down and see it for myself.
Yeah, exactly. So you can call the 855-900-4544 extension 5 to talk to Daryl Wolf. About about what kind of a retreat you want and when you want to book it.
I know that they're doing the Whole Life Coach in Coffs Harbour, and I know that that's starting on August 7th, and that's in, of course, Australia. And the one in Ixtapa, Mexico is starting October 17th. And of course, they always have the Whole Life Coach, which is followed by the Wolf Non-Surgical, which then is followed by our pelvic restoration course. So,
yeah, and he is Dr. Wolf today just left Mexico and is on his way to Australia, where he has, I don't know, at least 7 or 8 different places where he is going to be lecturing for free.
And doing a day with the doc for free. Yeah. So, it's magical. So,
look at braveheartnation.com and get the information on the lectures. If you are in Australia, you want to be there. You want to be there in person. Again, there is nothing like taking this information in person. Yes, it's going to be broadcast also on the platforms. But if you can be there in person, that's where the magic happens. You feel his energy. You feel the energy from the people. You get educated from other people who maybe they've got something going on that's very similar to you, and you were shy and didn't want to mention anything, and somebody else had that question and answered it for you, got the answers that you needed. That's why this is so important. Again, we're educating the masses. We want to be able to plant those seeds, and so that you can be your own practitioner, so that you can be the light for your family, for yourself first, and then your family. This is why we do this work. We are so passionate about teaching and educating people on how they can really honor these bodies, respect these bodies, protect these bodies, and bring the body's vibration up so you don't have to deal with any dis-ease.
That's right. And this is what we call freedom. It is absolute freedom to be pain-free and healthy. Then you actually have all this life force energy to create. And then and of course, all of this stems from unconditional self-love. And so when we have these courses, we're not just addressing the physical, we're also addressing the emotional and our stinking thinking, because it all plays a part in how we talk to ourselves, and you can see how you talk to yourself because it's the way you talk about other people. We're either walking around as machine guns of judgment, and believe me, it comes right back at you, or we are actually in a state of unconditional love where we can absolutely love everybody, whether we hang out with them, whether we prefer them to be, it doesn't matter. Unconditional love is just that. It is accepting who you are, where you are, loving yourself. And therefore, when you do that, you naturally do it for everybody else.
Exactly. And
that's how our planet heals.
I want you guys all to know that we have the Braveheart app out. So it's bhnapp.com, and we are still looking for beta testers. So we're still in the infancy of getting this. I mean, it's up and running, and we want people with eyes and ears and click and just play with it and let us know what you find works, what you find isn't quite working, and maybe you've got some suggestions. We need people to try this out and let us know what you're thinking. So again, that is bhnapp.com.
I like it. I love I'm so excited about this app. And I think it's going to change the world and how we take care of ourselves.
And then really the only permanent health care is self-care.
Self-care. That's really absolutely correct.
We need to count on ourselves, like I said, and become our own practitioner because you know your body best. The only permanent love is self-love because we cannot expect anyone to fill up our cup. If we are only half full, we have got nothing to give. So you need to fill up your own cup first. And that overflow is what you're going to give. And when you're in that state of self-love, that is overflowing.
And that's how we say rise to your full potential, and fly is first love yourself.
And together we truly are stronger.
Yes, we are.
Braveheart Nation, come and be a part of it.
And remember, your questions matter. You matter, each and every one of you. So every time, if you have any questions, so many live shows, please send them in to us. They will get answered by Lorraine or myself or for Dr. Wolf, or somebody will make sure that all your questions get answered.
And we like to end with the Braveheart Oath. So, I am love.
I am love. I am healed.
I
am Braveheart. Today
and every day,
from the moment I rise
until I gently close my eyes,
I will
always trust, honor, respect, protect, forgive,
and totally love myself first and foremost, before anyone else or
anything else. So help me God. Because I am
love. I am
healed.
I am Braveheart. 3, 2, 1.
We've got this.